to show.
Oh,
And
that's
everybody would bring something from his background.
Yeah.
So we grew up with a hodgepodge of different different sources, you know.
Yes.
So Japanese, for instance, if you dance with Japanese girls, you find out they dance just like Americans.
Yes.
This is so funny, but one of the kids in college, Matt Walsack, got acquainted with a Japanese girl in college over there, and he got chewed out. You're not supposed to date a Japanese girl. And why not? He says, I dated a Japanese girl all the way through high school. Well, we see, we didn't draw any lines. I mean, we were told that you're not supposed to do it. As a Marine Corps, I couldn't understand how the fellows from the South hated the Negroes so much. I says, how can you feel that way about them? I says, the skin color, but he says, what else? They're just as human too. But let me tell you about the Japanese. With the families in there, a little kid named Setsu Matsura. Now, I don't know if you know about that name, but that was the most decorated boy from Potlatch. He got 3 silver stars in Germany. And Setsu, his parents were of the old country. But when he got to be going to school, he became pretty American. He wasn't going with other Japanese except his mom and dad. But his mom and dad, they nit with him because he was Americanized. He was thinking American. And they kicked him out. And what I mean,
out of the service?
No, out of their house.
Oh.
And somebody found that this kid was going to the garbage cans to get something to eat and was sleeping there, this was in the summertime, sleeping on the streets practically. Well, the Hearn family, they got interested in English. Mrs. Hearn said, we'll take that kid into our home. He's about 12 years old, about 11, 12 years old. Japanese hospital. Now, we won't even adopt him, but we'll clothe him, feed him, he'll go to school here, he'll do everything. All right? That was just wonderful because Hearns could have adopted him, but it was too much of an illegal thing to do. But when he got ready, he was in good school grades, you know, and he wanted to go to college. Well, the Hagen family in Moscow, they were I was working their store. Setsu got a job directed by the Hearns to do the same thing in the Hagen family. So he did the same thing there. He got his boarding room for free with them. They bought him clothes. They didn't pay him anything. They just fed him and clothed him and I think in the summertime, he would get up to the blister routes in those places where any of the other kids would give money to get his tuition paid. Pearl Harbor occurs December the 8th. I'm at the administration building coming out, and I run right back into Setsu. And I says, what do you think of the news? Well, he says, I'm going to be in the American Army this afternoon. He says, the only place for me to be is a soldier. Well, he did. And of course, they shipped these, what they is Japanese, of Japanese descent. They took those kids, and those kids were doubly involved. They knew that the American way of life is what they wanted. They thought American. They thought the only thing is they looked Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what Setsu.
Mm-hmm.
And in school here, he danced with every girl in that school. No girl here ever turned Setsu down.
Mm-hmm.
He was just one of the boys, only he was his eyes slanted some.
Mm-hmm.
And we all felt that way.
Uh-huh.
Well, anyway, Setsu, but that is to Potlatch's credit, that this kid grew up not knowing that he was of Japanese descent. His skin told him that, but nothing else told him that. And he came back, and the Hearns were responsible for that, and the Hagens, for him getting an education. So this is better, you know, than having him do something. Another story, but FBI came down here one time at Potlatch, and this is after the war started, and they wanted to get in the store because Harry Handa, a Japanese man, his wife took the kids and went back to Japan because the Japanese woman was supposed to take care of her parents after they're dead. Or when they get to be old again, because he refused to go. He says, he was born and raised in the Richville area there, and he married her, but she was too fresh from the old country to be with him. So in spite of the 3 kids, he says, I refuse to go, and she says, I refuse to stay, and so Harry Handa stayed here. That was it. But he's American, and it's just too bad for his family. He would correspond with her, but he just wouldn't go. No. They knew that Harry Handa, because he was taking pictures all the time, even a camera field from nobody. And somebody must have mentioned something somewhere, because FBI come down here and wants to know about this Japanese that's under this camera. And they find out that he lives in the store. He has an apartment back in the corner of the store building. So he's half guardian of the store, living in there, plus the fact that he's the janitor for the store, and he's also doing janitor work for the bank. And he was just our man. All right. Sunday, and how do they go get in that store? And well, my dad had a key to the store because the ice machine was down in the basement, and he had to keep sure because the refrigeration at that time was by this ice machine. Somebody had to check the oil, gas, and everything else. And so Dad periodically, especially about every 4 days, if it happened to be on Sunday, well, you go down and you get the keys to the store. So somebody said knew that Fred Schnurr had the power went out, he had to go down and make sure that he was there because of the refrigeration. Anyway, they said the Dad had keys to the store. So the FBI man, this guy that told him that, came up there and said, I want to get in the store. And Dad said, what for? Well, we got some checking up on the Japanese that's in the store. Oh, hell, he said, what are you wasting time with that for? He says, this is the way everybody knows this. No, they wanted to go. So they went in there, and Dad opened the door for them. Now they got down the basement down there, and Harry had a padlock with him. And the guy says, well, how the hell are we going to get around that padlock? Dad said, well, you're here, you're going to do this anyway. He said, took a claw hammer and pulled it off. He says, I'll tell him afterward that you've been here. Oh, God. So anyways, they searched, that's it, you got to try kidding on it. They searched everything in that room, and they finally found 5 pictures. And you know what they were pictures of? He would once a month, he'd have to make a trip to the Arlington Hotel in Spokane, which was little cheap. He had a couple of girlfriends there, and nature being such as it is, Harry had some friends up there. And he had pictures of 2 girls. And the FBI man one turned to the other and says, I don't think he's guilty of anything having to do with military. That says, no. He says, all he's interested in is living here. He's happy here. He has this, but that's his voice, that particularly, this is where that thing with Harry. So Dad told Harry. Harry laughed. He said, damn fools, this is what they're doing.
But did he stay here then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the thing was, when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, everybody had to hate Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
And the stupidest thing we ever did, we locked up Japanese all over the western part of the United States. Now, take a picture of this. Maui was very much agricultural. And Maui, there were a lot of Japanese coming in there for 25, 30 years. They were 2nd and 3rd generations over there.
Sure.
They were Americans. They looked Japanese. They came of Japanese descent, but they were Americans. And I made a comment one time in Maui when I went into a drugstore, and it was a girl, Japanese kid and everything. And I made a comment, I said, there's so many braids now, and outfits besides us, but there were 5,000 left. I said that the people of Japanese descent are treating us nicely. And she looked at me with bad eyes. She says, I'm just as American as you are. My brother is in Europe. And it dawned on me, I says, I apologize. My name is Schnurr. I'm just as German as you are Japanese. We are both Americans. I says, I apologize. Well, she says, you were rude. But do you know what happened? At Pearl Harbor, they were so busy at Pearl Harbor, they were 4 days before they sent anybody over in the military to see what the condition was in Maui. And you know, when they went to the sheriff's office, he says, we have 26 people here. These are sympathizers. These are people, we've got them pinned up. What do you want to do with them? He says, boys, crowd invasion, he says, the boys of Japanese descent are Americans. They have fought the Poland. Now, they didn't put those people, they did their stores, they continued their stores, continued their home, and they robbed the Japanese of their businesses, sent them down there to Utah and Wyoming, of all the damn dumb things that anybody could do. And the Japanese still didn't complain or didn't make a fuss about it. Why? Because they were good Americans, that's why. That's again, it makes me kind of angry about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's who.
I was going to go through these a little bit yet and see.
See what you brought there that you like.
Oh yeah.
Because anything.
I had a question here. This.
This was the.
This was.
This is the old school.
Where you went to third through sixth.
So third through eighth. Third through sixth.
Sixth, and then there was a building.
Junior high. This is it right here.
Oh, this is the junior high.
And then between that, you've got here one of the. Where's the one with the? This one. This was the building that was on the other side of it. No,
that's the church. Yeah. There was another one in here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's.
Yeah, there.
Is that the high? Is that the high
That's
school?
the high school. Now that high school there was up on the other side of this building here.
Oh, behind.
Right here. The church is right here. Just across the lawn here would be. Well, see, this is part of the building right here.
Okay, and that's the high school.
Yeah, that's the high school part. Just part of it.
And then there was an there was a junior high building.
No.
I'll show you this. This one, was this the junior high?
Yeah, that's the junior high. There's the school again.
Okay.
They're just across the street.
What was this building back here? You know what those structures were there?
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is strange to me because this went down to the corner here, and then there's cement there to keep it from eroding from that hill because the grounds were 4 feet down to the hill. But that's a building that was built subsequent to the time when I lived here.
Okay, well, that was
But
what I was curious about was this
yeah,
one.
I joined the church there, and I sang in the choir there when I was a kid. And then, as I say, my wife and I were married in that church.
Okay. Were you down for the history day we had?
No, we were ill, or my wife was, and we couldn't make it.
Okay.
But see, this is right in front of the store. There's the butcher right there. See, the comment that was made there about the butcher even gave the kids sweeteners, and that was my dad. And when I was working on the counter, if some little kid came in there with his mother, he'd say, well, I can believe him, you know. This was customary, and, but old Ferguson was the general manager of the store. He called my dad doing that, and he said, why, he says, you're giving away the profits there. Dad says, listen, he says, how do you advertise me? He says, you give a kid a wiener. And I said, that kid goes down with his mother, and every time he sees this store, he go, pull her into there.
Right.
He said, that's our best advertisement. See, here I circled it here. Recalls a butcher who gave children cold hot dogs. Now this is when the project momentum. Here's all the contributors. Do you have that document?
No, I
Church
don't.
for the 80s.
I don't think so.
It was soliciting people to bring in stuff about the history of the 80s. Now here Felix Stapleton had the store, and Elaine Puckett. Now I went to high school with her. With her. And Stapleton had the garage. The only time that they were doing it. Now that garage was independent.
Independent of the company.
That was one thing the company didn't know.
And
here's all the people that contributed.
Yeah.
Again, you see the Renfrews all through the Schnurr. Now here. Malcolm and Edgar, oral histories, and Robert Schnurr clippings, photos.
Okay, and you have a picture.
There, you asked about our homes. Here's Spruce Street. Now, the pine one was down here. About here was there was only about a month or two that we were there. Then two here two up here on Maple Street. Maple's got to be right.
This is Maple, so it must be down.
Yeah, it was in this area right here.
And
they were about 6 months in each, I think. And then Dad got here 6:25 and then 6:35. And then ultimately got over here on what we call the house that was on the hill on Knob Hill.
Oh, I see.
So that was the last.
Okay. Well, this would be the store here.
Oh, wait a minute, that's the store.
Yeah, you would be.
You'd be over here then.
Yeah, you'd be up there a little further. On Cedar.
Cedar and above 6th. We're right about here. Now, that's a. You could see in the high school from there for years until they took the high school down and made the big opening up there.
Okay. Let's see, we've got 1910. That's Potlatch in 1910, huh?
Yeah, there's the church, here's the store, and here's the two spruce.
Sanborn Map Company. I wonder where that came from. Now this must be something the church. Let's see. This had to do with the church.
Yeah.
Grace Lutheran and Presbyterian.
Yeah, all the preachers.
Yeah.
British preachers.
Okay, but now what was, what's this? Is it a, who made this one?
Well, this is a little of everybody.
Oh.
Those are all contributors there. And here they've got maps, the highway, and then Potlatch, stories, dealing how the early inhabitants, the Indian. Somebody researched all this stuff about mining involved in this area. Chinese mining. Then here's the creeks. Trees.
Tall.
Gold Hill mining area. all the creeks that were in the mining area.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot in there, too. Yeah. Mines, prospects of the Gold Hill era. There was a lot of mining up there for a period of time. It was awfully hard. There was no particular vein that they could find. They just combed around, but they kind of gave it up as a lost job. The Coeur d'Alene mining district up there, that Wallace and Kellogg, and every square inch of it for about 10 miles there on both sides of that canyon. And it's funny, there's no silver on one side, never. And at the other side there was the Sunshine Mine, and there was, when the good Lord did this way, he certainly pushed things different, because I've been through a half dozen of those mines up there, or I've been through a low number of them. And it's interesting the way that thing is developed. But no place has been so planted and so dug up. So, this is all stories of how the town is.
Yeah, I didn't, okay, you did, Fred Schnurr contributed, but who wrote this up, do you know?
I don't have any idea who did it.
Okay.
The folks got it.
Okay.
See, because I have all this stuff that's been done, and since years gone by, I wasn't around, but the folks did.
I think that, some of the students did one quite a few years ago, and maybe this is what it was.
Yeah, girls were not allowed to wear anklets because it is immodest. They had to wear full stockings. I'll give you an idea of what it was in school. Well, that school building was built in 1908. So that's your story of the building itself. And then the church.
Yeah, that would be,
there's a lot of stories in there that WIM, Washington, Idaho, and Montana. The river, the line. Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Vassar, Cornell, Bowbell, Purdue. And you know how they got that? There's kids that were working on the railroad there, were college students coming out there in the summertime, and they started naming little birds around there.
Is that right?
So they ended up, they stuck all of them, and that's how they all got to be college stuff. Which is novel. Also the WIM, it was not under regulation because you had to have a train line more than 50 miles. And so they knocked off about 2 or 3 miles to get it to about 49 miles. So this way they didn't have to fool with controlling it. But what was it used for? It was used mainly for the lumbering. The train went up and back, but not too many, because 90% of the people went by car to Princeton and Harvard and a little bit of Dale, Deary and some of those spots, but not much. So again, the railroad, you see, was a unique damn thing too. Here, Onaway. It was called Bulltown. In honor of Henry Bull. Because the fact that things you could do with things in Onaway that you couldn't do it by. And Candy Ford. And that was quite the activity for the farmers as well as the local people. And with it, when we had that dance hall thing here.
Yeah. Yes.
Now here it is.
Yeah.
See, here's. Now, Candy Ford was originally over across out here into the trees on the south side of Highway 95. The west side.
Right.
Because here's the highway right here.
Right.
Candy Ford is something over here. But they built that roundhouse, and this was pretty much the roller skating rink and the dance hall for years and years and years. And a lot of activity with that. So this is just what was in the paper here recently.
River.
Now, this is you people, isn't it?
Right, right, that's, we said that. Uh-huh. Well, these look, all of this looks very interesting, very worthwhile.
Yeah, I was in Potlatch in September, when I told you people what I'm glad to hear that you were gonna have something like this.
Uh-huh.
Because I got a lot of stuff here and everything, that it should be, I think it should be, brought into the picture, because those are all things that are unique and are not something that every town had.
Well, this article from the Pacific Northwesterner, I thought was a very good article. That
Yeah, that's a good,
said, quite a bit the same thing, that Potlatch was very unique. And, yeah, this would be nice.
now these are pictures that I brought, this is one of the houses on Spruce Street, see? This is the way it looked.
Uh-huh.
And I went by there recently, and it took about a year or two ago.
Uh-huh.
And here was the other one.
You don't happen to know when these pictures were taken? You can start in the window.
I believe that I may have taken them for my mother. And but oh God, it could have been any time there. But this is the way it looked when we were married, when my wife and I were married, because we went over from the house on the hill, and I just showed her, I said, these are spots where I lived. And the fact that on this porch here, I took the baseball sometimes and knocked it clear up there, that porch.
Uh-huh.
And then this one is the log cabin,
Uh-huh.
And I watched them build that.
Did you?
And for years, a lot of our social stuff at the high school was always, we'd have the log cabin, and there'd be like, and then the log cabin dances there for years and years and years. And
Uh-huh.
a good dancing town.
When was that built? Do you remember what year?
That would have to be about 1930, 1931 or two, or maybe, no, it was built after 30, it was after the Depression then. But the American Legion decided they were going to build that thing because it was unique, and they worked like demons to build that. And then finally, they kind of, as a lodge, it kind of went to pot. And so then they sold it, I guess, and these people bought it, and they made a eating place and everything else. I think it's still dancing. This was
This is across
right
here.
here.
Look at how the trees have grown.
Yeah, just number of trees.
Okay, high
Now,
school reunion.
this has a lot of people, if you want people to come in.
Yes,
Because the kids are writing this in.
I see.
That's what
Now, is this your graduating class?
I'm
Or
in
one
the
of them?
1936 section, see?
Okay. Uh-huh.
And this one also,
Uh-huh.
this is 1982.
Oh, okay, now this is the high school building,
Yeah,
isn't
but see,
it?
this is classes of 36, 37, 38.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. See, this is the side of this building I've never
Yeah.
seen. Here's the Union Church.
There's only in church.
And, you must have had, wonder when this picture was taken. That's pretty hard to tell, isn't it?
It's hard to tell, yeah.
That was, uh-huh.
There's one to be taken at that reunion by somebody.
Uh-huh.
It,
Looks like at the cabin.
yeah, that's his cabin.
All right. Yeah, this is all just terrific. That's your parents.
No, that's me.
Oh, that's...
This is my wife and I, we went to the
Yeah.
friendship course, and it was this comment, the sands of the Samoa didn't seem right about Schnurr without a woman to decide. In 43, he vowed to return after the war and did. 30 years later, bring his wife for tea.
Oh, neat.
That's what that was.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the gals in the Coeur d'Alene newspaper, I think.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we were pitching about that. We stayed in friendship course, we stayed in the homes in Japan and Germany, and conversely, we had them in Coeur d'Alene, we had both the Japanese families and both the German families, in the course of years, come back and make a return trip.
Uh-huh.
Now, here, it's a letter you wrote.
Yeah, Vanette had sent you this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Great.
Yeah, this is another one of that.
Oh, and all your notes, you had a lot
Yeah,
of notes.
yeah. Well, this, you probably know, this is all my...
Oh, that's interesting.
This is my high school units and the number of grades or the grades I got and all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then 37, 38, and 39, 40 by 4 years, and I averaged 2.68. But here I got 4 point, 5 point, 2 point. They changed from 4 point to the high.
Uh-huh.
So this would have been 6 would have been top, and from here on it would have been 4 point.
Right. Uh-huh.
And so that's 134 credits, and I needed 100.
Uh-huh. Do you remember your manual training class?
Very little.
Was that during your elementary years? When did you take manual training?
That was I think your 7th grade and 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure we had to come across the street and then come over, because it was in the bottom of the old church, the old original school. The third through the first through to the 8th.